Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on? This is Super Dave back at it again with the PA Political Revolution podcast, and we back at it again. I know I've been gone for a minute. I've been busy. Hey, what can I tell you? I have other things going on. I'm just a little bit busy. Sorry about that. But we're about to come back in and give you another episode of what's going on and what I think is happening in Port Arthur and some type of information I think that you may be interested in. I put out some information on there, and I put, my facts and opinion onto it, and go ahead, and go ahead and give it to you like that, and you let me know if you like it or not. And first off, let's go ahead and try to go ahead and share this video and go ahead and give it a like for me. Go ahead and give it some likes so it can go ahead and get on the algorithm, right? Everything that I'm saying is my political opinion, and my opinion is mixed with facts and commentary. And I also want to say this is fair use. In the clips that we have that's copyrighted, it is under the fair use doctrine. Fair use doctrine. So want to get a little bit of housekeeping out the way, and pretty much basically what this podcast is about, right? Is some of the things that's what's been going on that I like to say with the propaganda, right? Some of the things of Port Arthur's 125th birthday, right? And what some of the events have been taking place, what's going on with the chamber, and some of these awards have been given out, right? Basically, at first I was kind of loosely paying attention to this, and I thought it was originally the chamber's 125th anniversary or something to do with the chamber. But I understood it's more that the city's 125th birthday and not something to do with the chamber, right? So that kind of leads me, talking to different people, like when I was kind of coming up with, why is it that the chamber, the Greater Chamber of Commerce, is kind of spearheading the city's 125th birthday, right? It would make more sense when we have something that the city is pushing that everybody can be a part of, right? That everybody can go to, because from understanding you have to pay money to this event, and you were certain people, it really wasn't well represented, right, within the actual community of Port Arthur. So that kind of threw up some red flags right there. One, that the chamber was kind of spearheading it, and two, that this wasn't a real public event open for the actual citizens. Now, I think that what should have happened, probably the city should have spearheaded something like this and have some type of community thing instead of the actual chamber to go ahead and lead this. But then you understand there's a certain group of people that kind of runs this city, right? And I've kind of mentioned it before. So let's pretty much kind of go ahead and start on a couple of things I want to show you, right? This is pretty much what's actually going on with the event from the news source.
I am honeymoon proud and peacock happy.
Port Arthur Mayor Thurman Bartee swelled with pride as 800 business owners and community members gathered at the Bob Bowers Civic Center to celebrate the city's 125th birthday.
I'm very proud of Port Arthur. People don't understand or know about its rich heritage.
The banquet, hosted by the Port Arthur Greater Chamber of Commerce, offered guests a chance to learn a thing or two.
Arthur Stillwell, who founded the city of Port Arthur. He started the Kansas City Southern Railroad.
Port Arthur's own actor G.W. Bailey came home to celebrate.
I like to, do the same thing other kids do in high school and junior high and elementary school, played softball and football.
Bailey was a keynote speaker, and the chamber honored him with a $2,000 donation towards a lifetime membership at the Museum of the Gulf Coast.
It feels great to be from Texas. It feels great to be from Port Arthur.
This is where Bailey says he fell in love with acting.
I was in the 9th grade. Yeah. Saw a production from the junior high, from the high school.
The Chamber also honored Port Arthur ISD Superintendent Dr. Mark Porterie.
I am extremely happy to be named the Arthur Stillwell recipient. I didn't do anything by myself. I have a group of people that I work with, a team of people that I work with that are absolutely amazing.
Other Port Arthur birthday events are planned every month for the rest of the year. In Port Arthur, Ebony Coleman, 12 News.
Yeah, right. Now there goes which was pretty much a summary of the event, right? And we have an actor by the name of G.W. Bailey. G.W. Bailey's been on with Police Academy and some other shows or whatnot, but I think the one that I remember most from is Police Academy. And right, let's kind of check out what was going on with his actual deal, right? G.W. Bailey, when he gave his presentation, it's reported that he came. He was talking about prostitution over here. One thing, right? Bailey joked about how a decade ago there was a house of prostitution run by a woman named Gracie Woodard. It seems that everybody knew who she was back then. Woodyard's operation was so successful she reportedly paid the city's bills and likely had friendships with people of authority. Woodyard's business ventures was halted by the James Commission after the James Commission came in and put a stop to most of the vice in the county in the 1960s. Growing up, we didn't know a damn thing about Spinner Stillwell or any of that, but we knew about Gracie, he said with a laugh. So he kind of had a conversation about prostitution, and also this is something else that kind of happened during the time of this. I haven't figured it out yet, but I can kind of assume right here, right? During this time, during this time at the podium, Bailey used a few phrases that are no longer commonly used when speaking of different cultures. This led to the crowd becoming a bit quiet, right? So whatever in the hell he was saying, it seemed to be that it had a racial undertone to it. So I can, and this is why we shouldn't let the chamber spearhead anything for the city. And we have to kind of watch out for these people, right? You have the chamber. We got this guy. We have G.W. Bailey coming in and pretty much killing the energy of the room with prostitution. But whatever it is, I need to find out what it was. Whatever this type of, probably some type of racial slur he had, right? But whatever this is, this trash is wrong. This is pretty much crazy, and I don't know why. I don't know what the hell happened right here. It's retarded, but this is kind of the tone that the actual chamber brings, right? This is the tone, unfortunately, that when we have something that there's new thing that this is important going on, that we have a gentleman that's saying some type of racial slurs, unfortunately. So, that's what I'm suspecting. I suspect it's a racial slur because it doesn't seem anything else. You're using some type of insensitive culture comments, right? And the next thing I kind of want to point to right over here, right now, during the chamber meeting, this is the type of rhetoric that goes on, right? The chamber. It doesn't talk about unity and all of that, right? Right here, a specific situation Mr. Salter was speaking on, right? The Chamber of Commerce Hispanic Business Council formed their own nonprofit. When past President Bill McCoy first established this group several years ago, It was because the Hispanic community really didn't feel like they were a part of the community, Salter said. The Chamber of Commerce was happy to help with that. The contacts were made, and now having done that, I'm proud to say the Hispanic community is just now another part of the business community, and we're all better for it, right? And these are white Hispanics. Now, my big issue with this, right, is long been documented that black folks in this area were discriminated against, and we never felt that we was a part of the actual Chamber of Commerce or in the business of the local area, right? If I remember correctly, right, the main reason that the Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Business Council was created was to compete when another gentleman was trying to make the actual minority Chamber of Commerce, right? You can see right here in this old article, President and CEO Roosevelt Petrie said he wants to reach out to the minority businesses to help them network and grow the community. He said he feels like minorities are not getting enough representation at the current Port Arthur Chamber of Commerce. One reason is because there is a lack of minority representation and participation, Petrie said. We needed this in the chamber for many years. This minority chamber is the first minority chamber in Jefferson County ever, right? And I kind of do agree with that. But the main problem why this minority chamber failed, right, is because the person that's running it, he's kind of, fickle. He kind of goes, he'll weaponize blackness against, people that he feels that he has an issue with. Just my opinion, that he may be mad about. He may not get a certain contract. That's kind of my opinion. He doesn't really stand on blackness like how, a person should stand on it and wants to do things for it. In my opinion, he kind of seems that, he does things for his own personal stuff. One minute he may be for black, and another one he don't really care about black folks. So that's why this has actually failed, right? And he actually is quoted in here saying that a lot of minority folks, pretty much black folks, don't get the opportunity. And so you have to understand, right? We know all of this, right? There should be a strong push from the city council at the least, right? And hey, if you want to represent our city and you want to do certain things, black folk need to be a part of this, right? And they made this, and also that Hispanic Business Council, they tried to weaponize them against black folk when Brian McDougal was fired, right? Brian McDougal got, because lack of action, had $25 million worth of equipment damage. I mean, he's had a lot of problems. He's going out using city money, taking different people out to meals or whatnot, just doing a lot of things that you shouldn't do with the city's money. In my opinion, misappropriating a lot of the city's money, right? So, and he was just a bad fit for this city, right? And the powers that be, word had on the street that the reason why he was, that the reason why he was selected, right, or the reason why they kind of, pushed him towards being city manager because he had some casino experience, right? And with Shawnee, Oklahoma, wherever the heck he's from, I can't remember. But he had casino experience, and then the chief back then had Patrick Melvin, right? He had some casino experience back then. So they was kind of banking on the casino coming down here over to Pleasure Island. So that's why those two individuals came in, and possibly, two of the worst, type of, for definitely the worst city managers that we've had up to date, right? And some can say probably one of the worst police chiefs that we've had. So with this, firing the chief at first, right? Then end up being Brian McDougal. We've had, this Hispanic community they were trying to weaponize them, trying to get some people to run, and trying to use them as a different voting block, and trying trying to pretty much buffer up the white vote. Like, they did that back in the days when when Port Arthur annexed Sabine Pass, Griffin Park, Pear Ridge, and another area I can't think of right now, to go ahead and boost up the white numbers. And this was another attempt to do that with the white Hispanic community, right? But from what I can see, the efforts have failed right now to try to use that to weaponize against black folks. So we have to understand the history of the chamber. The chamber, they're not talking about unity, and they're not talking about, they're only talking about them and, hey, we helped out the Hispanic community. Now, also within this this little shindig or this banquet that they have going on that was only that only some people were able to go to, they've also given the Stillwell Award to Dr. Mark Porterie. Now, first question is, what has Mark Porterie has done that's in his job title that gives him this award, right? I can't think of it. Anybody can't tell me what he's done, because we have poor test scores. We have I think we had a high number of kids going to summer school a year or two ago. So we have a lot of academic problems, and we're behind. Whenever we have, we're always hearing horror stories of kids that's transferring from Port Arthur to PNG, Port Arthur to Needham, that they're so far behind on some of the curricula. They have to get like a jump start, and it's kind of a hard transition a lot of time because they're teaching something more advanced over there at PNG. So, and we're stuck in a. Unfortunately, the kids are at where they're destined to fail, in my opinion, because we don't provide them with the actual curriculum that they need to have to take it out there, right? I believe it's the poor leadership on Mark Porterie's and the lack of certified teachers, in my opinion, right? Let's go ahead and check out this article, right? Who I suspect to be, an institution that has racial history plays black folks, right? How they try to make fun of black folks. Now, let's go ahead and kind of check on this right here. They first start off right from with the news, Port Arthur News. Mark Porterie had a little bit of a challenge when he took the stage Thursday night at the Bob Bauer Civic Center, right? Port Arthur Independent School District Superintendent was accepting the Arthur E. Stillwell Award. His name and speech were listed near the bottom of the Greater Port Arthur Chamber of Commerce 123rd Annual Banquet Agenda. He was also taking the stage 2 hours and 51 minutes, basically 3 hours after an event social hour had begun at 6 p.m. So it started at 6 p.m. He's about to take the thing at 9. Right, and some of the sold-out crowd was starting to tire. They probably was tired. Some of them probably left. So understand, they didn't think of this clown that must have put him on with the other speakers, right? They put him at the bottom. According to this article, they put him pretty much last up because, he's an afterthought. They do these dog and pony shows, right? Most people over there know they have him at the end. So if you want to leave, you can go ahead on and leave and hell, they just honor it. It's just a throwaway, right? Because think about it. You haven't had any of them honor Neyland School District for the grades that they make, Sabine Pass ISD for the grades that they're making, PNG for the grades and whatnot. So why exactly are we honoring Porterie? Because I can guarantee you, Porterie would never make it over there in PNG, Neyland, or Sabine Pass, if their board has anything to say of it, because he doesn't have a good rep over here. But over here in Port Arthur, they understand that we like these little shows, these dog and pony shows, these little gimmicky awards, whatnot, that every little group has their special people getting all of these nothing awards. So, just understand that this is nothing but to fool the average citizens, right? Because, if you're like me, I can't think anything that warrants him an award, actually. Porterie acknowledged that instantly, right? Telling the crowd that he would be brief. For the first 4 minutes and 44 seconds, right? 5 minutes, he thanks those that helped him along his professional path. 5 minutes of thanking somebody, right? I mean, god damn. I mean, people will see when non-black or white folks or people who consider themselves white, right? When they're at an event, they don't do all this shucking and jiving, butt kissing that black folk tend to do, right? We tend to do all of this clowning, do all of this performance. You spend, I think they did end up doing 10 minutes, but the first 5 minutes you thanking everybody. I'm trying to think. It's a lot of thanking to do. Thank you this and this. Thank you for 5 whole minutes, right? Okay, that's what they say. 4 minutes and 44 seconds. So they got that down packed. Now, Porterie says Port Arthur's been good to him, providing many opportunities, adding he met some of the most wonderful people representing all nationalities and racial background in his own community, right? There we go. Whenever black folk do something, black folk get an award, black folk have to be recognized, it's always the all lives matter, right? It's all minorities, all lives matter, all racial backgrounds, right? But whenever non-black people or white or people that identifies as white speak, it's something they don't have all of this good old chummy chum buddy talk, right? Let's keep going. It's a wonderful place to live. It's Port Arthur, he said. We live here. We fight amongst ourselves. We know how to get past that. We love one another and have proven that. Who goes to something and talk about we fight amongst ourselves, right? Who says that at some type of award banquet, right? Who says we fight amongst ourselves, but we know how to get past that? We love one another and we have proven that. So, again, black folk is all lives matter, love, 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 okay? In Hurricane Harvey, we didn't know who was picking us up at our door on the boat. They all came out to rescue, and it didn't matter what color you were because we all needed help. That's what Port Arthur stands for. I beg to differ on that. But understand, Porterie is here thanking everybody else. He's getting an award, but he's thanking white folks. He's thanking everybody else for what they did. That's basically what this is, right? Hey, thank you, white folk, for doing everything for us. Now, Porterie took the stage Thursday night after one of the event's previous speakers made a string of off-script comments, right, that dampened a very excited and enthusiastic audience. So, remember when I told you, G.W. Bailey must have said some type of racist ass shit, right? Must have said something racist. Had everybody looking all crazy, right? And it's the city's. Now, this is the city's 125th birthday, right? Chamber bring this numb nut over here, and he over there offending everybody. So when white folks go or consider identify white, they talking racial stuff. They identifying them, and they identifying Hispanics, white Hispanics. But when black folk have to come get an award, we shucking and jiving, tap dancing, butt kicking. We thank everybody, right? We go to the first 5 minutes of a 10-minute presentation thanking everybody. Then we talking about how much race doesn't matter, and that's what Port Arthur stand for. Hell, you just had G.W. Bailey must have been goddamn saying something racial. He was talking about prostitutes, and I'm assuming something racial on here and how it's worded in the news, right? So, and how this represents Port Arthur. They telling you what Port Arthur represents. So dampen the very excited and enthusiastic audience. More than 800 people were on hand to celebrate the chamber and the 125th birthday celebration of the city in Port Arthur. Porterie helps shine the light back on those unifying themes by talking about subjects he knows best, students and education. I beg to differ on that. We have 8,200 of the best students right here, he told the crowd. Are they all well behaved? Absolutely not. However, there are ours and there are children. Now, I wonder if anybody would go from Needling has given a speech to people that don't necessarily go to their school district, right? I can pretty much tell you the majority of these people over here do not have children in the goddamn Port Arthur Independent School District. It looks like a lot of white individuals, white business owners and people, majority white audience. They don't go to Port Arthur. I wonder if Needling, right? Needling, Port Nature's Grove, Sabine Pass, talking to an outside audience, so to speak, right? An audience that doesn't represent their district. I wonder if they would go in and tell them, hey, we have certain amount of students and are they well behaved? Absolutely not. I don't think he'd be kind of throwing like little side slugs. Whoever, right? He or she from another district will be throwing side slugs at their own students, right, at their own school. Regardless, hell, you have places like PNG that just ignore the racial element that they have, some of their racial problems they have in the school. So if they'll just ignore doing anything about it, I guarantee you they wouldn't say nothing about their kind of behavior issues or their perceived behavior issues, right? But over here in Mark Porterie, we do that. When you see 4-year-olds and elementary students talking to one another and laughing with one another, you understand they are children. When they come into this world, they don't look at color or poverty. Okay, here we go with the color stuff again. Why we're being so black folk, we're being so apologetic for color, right? They don't look at a student and feel that they don't like you because of who you are. They like everyone. They're kids. Wouldn't it be a wonderful world if we just looked at each other as people, just human beings? The Port Arthur superintendent stressed education is one of the best professions anyone can choose. He passionately asked those in attendance to appreciate educators, specifically focusing on parents, to say they must appreciate educators because children are limited without an education. The community will thrive if our students are educated, he said. It will falter if they are not. He closed his remarks nearly 10 minutes to the dot after he began with the impassioned declaration for unity. I'm happy to be a Port Arthurian with the blacks, the whites, the Hispanics, the Asians, everyone that is here. He said, I love you all. We all in this together. We're all going to stay together. And that's what makes Port Arthur great, right? Now, this is sad, right, for several reasons, because only these hand-picked jive turkeys, right? These individuals are the ones that straight butt kissing, tap dancing on something we shouldn't even be doing, right? You had the police academy guy said some dumb ass crap, right? Said something dumb, possibly about race. Got everybody looking crazy. And now we got Mark Porterie, right? The person that they didn't really want to do, but they had to give somebody an award, right? They wanted to make it look good, give a black person an award. So hey, we give this crap to Mark Porterie. Even though the school district is trash, we go still give him the Arthur Stillwell Award, right? So give them that. Now he come up and talking about how much he love everybody. We all get along, black and white stuff. See, all of this is propaganda, right? This is supposed to trigger black folk, right? Trigger black folk into thinking you always have to be kissing ass. You always got to be super humble. You always got to ignore the racism or the attacks and racism from other people, right? Even though it's racism for what, I'm suspecting it was, what G.W. Bailey was saying, or it was economics with Stuart Salter, right? When he said, hey, we're going to go ahead and give, we recognizing the Hispanic Business Council, right? Yeah, we're not going for all minorities, just these white Hispanics. even when we do that, we still have to be kissing butt and doing all of these things, even though it was through black folks' civil rights era, right, was able to let Hispanics and other cultures, migrate over here, right? Because the civil rights not only fought for us, they fought for other minority groups to come over here, right? But they did that thinking that they would have a brotherhood in fighting against racism. But unfortunately, a lot of these groups assimilate with the dominant society or the racist organization or the racist group at that time, right? So, unfortunately, this is probably has turned to bite black folks in the behind. But that's another issue. But back at the message at hand, we are inundated with messages. We have to go ahead and be submissive, be the non-threatening Negro. We have to be the floor mats for every other group, right? For every other group to come down here and to get some type of benefits, they have to, black folk have to be like the mat, where we can specifically deal with Hispanics, right? Getting Hispanic businesses some help. But whenever we dealing with black folk, we have to put it under the umbrella of minority. Well, that includes white Hispanic men, white Hispanic women, white Caucasian women, and so forth, right? So, you don't never see anybody doing anything specifically for black folks when black folk need a lot of these, things, because we've built the country we've put in a lot of work in building this country, right? And not getting compensated for it, right? That's the fight for reparations that you may be hearing about going on. So with all this being said, right, we have to understand the propaganda that's being fed to us. It's being fed to us by the chamber, and to get some of these hand-picked puppets, like I believe Mark Porterie is, that's out here, that's just, he's considered, in my opinion, a non-threatening Negro. Some may say he have some feminine attributes about him, but that's the type of person that they're going to put up on a pedestal. And that's the type of one that's going to put out in the community, hey, this is a representative of black folk, right? When you have, white individuals saying, hey, we doing this for the Hispanic community, they're not necessarily saying, hey, we want unity, we doing this all with black, whites, and everybody. The business council is for blacks, whites, and everybody. No, they're not doing that. You see, they're doing it for whites, and then they're doing it for the Hispanics to a small portion. So black folks, we get left out of there. But we, like Greg Richards said, we have a step and fetch it type of individual that we have to be the shucking and jive and always happy, always want to clap a yes sir boss, and we always want to talk about equality and we love everybody when everybody don't love us. So this is just a little bit of information I want to kind of put out there and let everybody know, right? It is, when you have these different events, when you have the group like the chamber, always kind of look at them and listen to them and be cognizant of everything that's going on, right? And just understand, you can learn a lot by just listening to a lot of people, understanding these people that get awards, right? They're normally in these certain amount of cliques, these little cliques or good buddies with somebody, right? So always, whenever you want to try to, looking at these awards, see who's getting them. See if they're getting these different type of awards and see who's passing them out, right? So see who's presenting them and who's receiving them. A lot of times you'll see, people giving each other awards. One person will have like some type of award, give them to the friend, and the friend will turn around and give them the award right back. So you just have to kind of, just be aware of all these things that's going on within the city and understand this is what you live in and this is the type of propaganda that's going on. Oh, one more thing about the new incoming guy for the chamber, Randy Saunier, right? I think he'll be a good plus for business. May not necessarily be business for Port Arthur, but I think he'll be positive for business. He seems like, pretty much a straight up guy. I don't know him personally. I know he came in the group, the PA Politics 3 group, spoke a little bit, a while back before he actually ran. But he's a council member of Neyland. So, I don't know how a sitting with ward member, council member of Neyland, how much, they're going to look for Port Arthur. But, hey, we'll see. But I think it'll just be the same thing as far as Port Arthur. The citizens not really benefiting too much off of that. But, it's nothing different than, the other folks. So, hey, that's pretty much it. Everybody, take it easy. Peace. Don't forget to go ahead on and share this. Go ahead and share this video. And also let somebody know something about it. Again, take it easy. Super Dave with the PA Political Revolution Podcast. Peace.